What's going on, everybody? It's Corey. I'm back with a new video. It's been a few weeks since I posted, but there was a reason for that. I just recently purchased computer parts to build my own PC because my laptop wasn't allowing me to record videos anymore. Not that the laptop was bad, but it was just I'd get laggy videos here and there, or the audio didn't sync up with the actions in the games. So I decided to purchase a computer when I got my taxes this year. It's all built now. Might do like a vlog or something and show you guys what it looks like. Put a list of the things that I put in it. But that's not what today's video is about. I'm going to get into a game of COD. I don't know how long this commentary is going to go, so it might be more than one game, but something important to me at least, and hopefully it's important to the rest of you guys, is I watch the news a lot, so I'm, neck deep in politics and world affairs and domestic affairs, national security, all those things. But today's video is about the police in the United States. I know that the police have been getting a super huge bad rap lately, and for the most part, you can't generalize these police. That's no different than them stereotyping criminals and things of that nature. You don't want the police to pull you over or stop you, and just because you fit a description of someone, or you're a certain race or a certain gender, you want to believe that not all police are like that, and I don't believe all police are like that. However, the police that are in the news all the time, they are the ones doing bad things. So of course it's the good cops get overlooked for their good deeds. I search on the internet sometimes. I see when it was snowing, I seen police officers in North Carolina. They were sled riding with the children. So not all police are bad. However, the police that are on the TV, it's I don't want to butcher the saying, but it's one bad apple can ruin it for the rest of the batch, or something to that degree, And these cops, the ones that are using excessive force, excessive violence, basically taking the law into their own hands, they're ruining it for the rest of the police. I do feel like the United States is becoming more of a military kind of enforced state anyways. I do know some people in the military, and this is kind of the same way, I'll just sidetrack for a moment. That I didn't see that Sniper movie about Chris Kyle, but people had different views about that because they were talking about how many people he had killed and things like that, and some people had the argument that not all those people were guilty people, but because they looked a certain they looked at a certain race and things like that, they were killed. They were looked at as targets. So that's kind of not, obviously that's not what people want. I mean, some people do want that. Some people are racist, some people are prejudiced, and that's how they look at things, and that's how they want it to be, forever. They want to preserve their dominance in society. They want to preserve their race, and that means by any means necessary. If that means they lose their lives, and the race that they want to prosper does prosper, so be it. You know, that's what they want. But I came across a video today. I watched the Young Turks. They're an internet media outlet. They are more progressive than, you know, Democratic or Republican. They're not afraid to, you know, share their opinions of the president, things like that. It's what people should be now. Like these party lines and this partisanship, that's like a thing that ruins this country too. But you know, I'll save that for another day and another topic, another video. But the police, obviously, there were, you know, lately in the news, there's a lot of crimes being committed against the black people by the police, and it kind of, I guess I'll say, kind of started with like the whole Trayvon Martin situation. Now I know that George Zimmerman wasn't a cop. He was a pretend cop, though. You know, he decided to take the law into his own hand for whatever purpose. You know, I wasn't there. I can't say exactly what happened. I know how I feel about it, and once again, you know, I'll save that for another day. That's not really what this video is about. But I came across a guy, you know, he was running around with no clothes on, you know, whether he was on something or crazy or whatever, you know, so be it. But I just feel like they just shot him, they killed him, you know. Obviously the guy was naked, so he obviously didn't have a weapon on him. He wasn't hiding a weapon anywhere. And in my opinion, it looks like he was shot because he was black. I don't like to play devil's advocate a lot. I don't like to make things like a race issue. However, I also can't deny the facts either, you know. You see things on TV like that fraternity in Oklahoma talking about like hanging black people from trees and there's never going to be an N-word in our fraternity kind of thing. So, I mean, to act like racism still doesn't exist, you would be a fool to say things like that. Sorry for getting sidetracked. These are just like, obviously I have a lot to say just based on the whole just race in general. So, you know, I'm getting sidetracked because I could kind of get like amped up a little bit when I start thinking about it, because to tell you the truth, like things like this, it's 2015, and stuff like this just pisses me off that we're still talking about stuff like this, you know. But I also seen a video where there was a guy in Michigan. And from my understanding, in Michigan, there's an open carry law. You don't have to conceal it. You do have to have a permit, but you can walk around basically with a gun out in the open. That's from what my understanding is. So anyways, the video is a white guy who he's had run-ins with the police before for having his weapon out in public. He is on, like, outside of a school. Well, he decides to, like, walk on the campus with the gun. So the police, of course, get called. They show up. He starts questioning them. You know, some words are exchanged. The police eventually put their hands on their holsters. And he asked them, you know, why are you putting your gun, or why are you putting your hands on your holsters? Like, I'm not doing nothing wrong. This is within my rights. And he said, now if I put my hand on my gun, you know, or you guys are probably going to shoot me, you know. Well, anyways, to make this, you know, this went on for like 5 or 10 minutes. So to try to like wrap up the story, He insults them at the end. He tells them to go do something else, like leave him alone. They're harassing him. He's within his constitutional rights, etc. So my first thing with that is, how is this even a law to be able to walk around with your gun out or whatever weapon? I think it's just guns. I could be wrong. And how can you walk on like school grounds? Like if my child was going there, how could I feel safe knowing someone is like legally allowed to walk on those grounds with that weapon? Because they obviously didn't arrest him, so that has to be allowed. And the second thing is, you know, I grew up in a certain area, so the first thing that I'm thinking of is, man, if that was a black person and they called and said, you know, this guy's got a gun and he's on school grounds, I mean, they're going in there guns blazing. You know, they're not giving this guy a chance to explain himself or nothing. Now, I'm not saying it's always going to be like that, but like I said, from where I grew up, you know, I have friends of all races, and I've seen racism. I've grew up around it. There's people in my family who are racist. So it's just like amazing that just because you're like a certain color, you're looked at differently. You know, you have people that are like scholars of all races, and you're just judged based upon how you look or how you're perceived. I seen a kid that was from, like, I want to say he's like from Compton. He's basically a genius, you know, but he's looked at by conservatives a certain way because he's looks a certain way, you know. He's a black kid with dreadlocks. However, when you talk to him, he's very soft-spoken, very well-mannered. And he grew up in like it's fucking Compton. It's not like Pleasant Valley, you know. Like, this kid grew up in Compton, and he's making something of himself. But he's still looked at because, you know, like, he's from the hood. He looks like he's a thug. You know, he has dreadlocks. He's probably listens to gangster rap, and you know, it's just like the stereotypes are. It's a shame. It really is. So it's just like, to me, you know, that stuff bothers me. And the whole stuff that happened in like Ferguson, you know, like obviously people have their opinions about that and everything, and once again, I wasn't there, so I can't say exactly what did or what did not happen, but I know how I feel about it. And what I want to say about that is, like, you know, there's people down there in their local government that are now resigning, and it's, to me, is like oddly suspicious that now, after they feel like all the blowback is done and over with, well, now it's time to resign because the shit's done and over with. But what happened was, a guy who showed up at the protest, who they believe wasn't even a protester, shot 2 police officers. And from the last moment that I seen in the news, they were in critical condition. So it's possible that they're not even alive anymore. But I said this on Facebook a couple of weeks ago. You know, I said people were going to get tired of this shit all the time. These, like, police officers and stuff taking the law into their own hands. And instead of protesting, people are going to start killing people. They're going to start killing cops. They're going to start killing everybody. And more innocent people are going to lose their lives because people are abusing the law. You have to set precedent. You know, you have to let it know that, like, this type of like behavior is not going to be tolerated. If you allow this stuff to happen, more and more innocent people are going to die. It's just a fact. So what they need to do is start changing laws, start punishing police. You know, I see, you know, some of these police that are investigated for like the shootings of some of these people. You know, they're put on suspension with paid leave. You know, they sure as hell don't lose their jobs. Then they're found there's no wrongdoing. You know, like, I don't know. And I thought Internal Affairs was supposed to find people that, you know, actually do wrongdoing, but apparently that's just to cover their ass, and that's it. I myself don't think all police are corrupt. You know, I've been around good cops and what I perceive to be as bad cops. So, you know, I've had my experiences, but I think we have to move forward. This being stuck in limbo and just people, you know, even criminals too, being able to take the law into your own hand. You know, there's guns that are registered, and there's, you know, the last statistic, there was something like 200 million registered guns, and like over 100 million of those guns are, I'm sorry, there's like 200 million guns like owned in this country, and only 100 million of them are registered. Like, that's scary, you know what I mean? And those unregistered guns, you know, they're probably not pistols. They could be, you know, assault rifles or whatever, you know. The NRA wants you to be able to own whatever kind of weapon you want. If you want to drive around in a fucking tank with a bunch of missiles in it, you could, you know, and they're going to fight for your right to do that. But I mean, that's, you know, that's another topic for another day, lobbying, you know, the NRA funding these politicians to make whatever rules they want, you know. But like I said, that's a whole another story. I could get into this stuff for days. But the sad thing about this is like I said, innocent people are going to lose their lives. You know, whether these people in these incidents before were guilty, you know, the Trayvon Martin thing, the thing in New York, Eric Gardner, any of these things, you know, whether they were innocent or guilty, there's, in my opinion, every single time there was some sort of excessive force. And the reason that I say that is I also have a couple of friends that are police officers, and in no way am I trying to say, like, I'm not trying to disrespect any officers, you know, no military personnel, no peace officers. Like, I can't do that shit, man. I can't. I guess I'll say I'm selfish, man, and I can't go out there and do those types of things. And I have the utmost respect for people that, like, really do their jobs to the best of their abilities. By all means, I have all the respect in the world for that. The problem is like, say for instance, police officers, you know, they have non-lethal weapons, okay? You know, they have like a baton or pepper spray or even a taser. Now I'm not saying that stuff's gonna, like, take somebody down. I mean, I've seen people on, like, cops or whatever get shot with a taser and then just fucking keep running at you like it never even, like, it didn't faze them. But the point is those weapons are used, you know, before lethal force. Like, you don't want to kill people, you want to, like, subdue them. But instead, they're just fucking killing people. Like, it's just like, you know, in rap songs, you know, that songs are like, squeeze first, ask questions last. And that's really how it is now. It's like, they just fucking kill people, and that's it. Like, end of story. I'm not, you know, I understand that at the end of the day, they want to go home to their families or whatever, and so would I. You know, I wouldn't want to go out there and try to protect the citizens of you know, whatever city I was in, and then and lose my life. But you know, if it's gonna be like that mentality, you know, like shoot first, ask questions later, then you might as well get rid of the non-lethal. Get rid of the tasers. Get rid of the batons. Get rid of the pepper spray. Like, get rid of all of those things. What's the point of having them? I mean, if you're not going to use them, you're just going to shoot people dead, and just have a gun. In fact, have 2 guns or 3 guns. Because people are just losing their lives, and it's not always necessary. Now, I know that it is necessary sometimes. I know that, you know, at some point in time, these officers or soldiers, they have to make that choice between life and death. You know, they have to make that choice where I have to save my own ass, and, you know, it's mine or yours, and you're not going to kill me type of thing. Now, I'm not talking about that. By all means, if someone's, you know, if someone threatens your life and you got to kill them, kill them. You know, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not talking about that. I completely understand, but it's just food for thought, you know? I mean, this society, it's getting crazy. This country's crazy as hell. I'd like to know how you guys feel about it. You know, make a reply video or comment down below. Let me know what you think, and if you like the video, shoot me a like, favorite, and if you're new to the channel, I hope you guys subscribe. And until next time, peace.